Hello, and welcome to the Chris Oldcorn Show for Thursday, November the 5th. Thank you very much for joining us today. We're talking with two different journalists here at On TV and Sioux Online. We're talking with Dan Gray, and right now I am joined by our news anchor, Mike McDonald. What's going on?
Well, actually a pretty exciting thing happening right now for Batchewana First Nation. One of their own is actually participating in the Miss World Canada pageant. And this is, of course, the official preliminary competition, which leads to the Miss World pageant itself. Obviously, a very exciting time for people who know her, and for all those of Batchewana First Nation, I'm sure. Right now, they're in the preliminary round, and she is relying on your support to get her on to the next round. And voting is underway. She's been in Toronto since October 30th, participating in the pageant. And right now, voting is underway online, and you can go to catchthecrown.com. Each vote costs you $1, and you can vote as many times as you want. And voting is set to continue until Friday, November 6th, and it will continue on until 9 p.m.
So, Michaela
Agawa. Yeah. I guess I should have said her name at the beginning of the piece. Sorry, Michaela.
Yeah. And last week we had a hockey player. Wasn't it from Garden River? The one last week, the hockey player.
Yeah. It just seems this whole area is just we're getting a reminder of the kind of talent and the level of talent that exists in this region.
Yeah, it must be pretty exciting for her at this point.
Yeah. You know, it's Miss World. I mean, that's a pretty big deal.
Yeah. Hopefully she does well.
Yeah. We're we're all pulling for her and wish her the best of luck.
Yes. Good luck, Michaela. Okay. The NDP kind of made a little bit of a kerfluffle this week provincially with regards to Ross Romano. You want to give us a little update on that?
Well, it was something of an overreaction. There was a debate going on in the legislature about colleges applying to offer degree level courses, and this is something that's been going on for a while now. And in this particular case, the NDP is taking issue with Canada Christian College, particularly their founder Charles McVitie, for some of his views. But in the question that was directed to Mr. Romano, his response to the question included Algoma University and OCAD University in Toronto. Now, the NDP drew a comparison, or they thought that Romano was drawing a comparison between Algoma University and Canada Christian College, when in reality he was merely citing example, because what was being discussed in the legislature was the process involved with offering degrees at the college level. So the NDP decided to spin this into a direct comparison between Algoma University and Canada Christian College, when it really wasn't. It was it was citing example, and that's really all it was.
Yeah. And on top of that too, Canadian Christian College isn't the first college in Ontario to get degree granting status. There's another Christian college in Toronto that already has gone through the process that does Bachelor of Education. That's the same as like if you went to a public university to do a Bachelor of Education. So it's the same process that everybody has to go through to get that degree granting status, regardless of the type of institution.
Yeah, and Romano being the MPP for Sault Ste. Marie, of
obviously
course,
was promoted our local university. It seemed really petty to me that the NDP would do that.
We only have one, so.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't know, not a fan of that.
No.
Where the NDP was going with that.
Not at all.
Okay, let's talk about the treaty where we presently haven't updated it since 1850.
Yes, this is...
needs a little updating, probably.
Yeah, this is, being Treaty Awareness Week, the members of the Robinson Huron Treaty, which includes Batchewana First Nation and quite a few others along the North Shore, Lake Superior. And what they're calling for is just an update to the treaty annuity system. As it stands now, each First Nations member gets $4 per year, and that is the treaty annuity payment. In 1850, $4 was a lot of money. probably worth somewhere in the neighborhood of $100, if you compare it to today's purchasing power. But the fact is, it has not been updated since the 1850s. And what they're looking for is just something a little more in line with, especially resource development. There's a lot of money there, and what they're calling for is just an update to the treaty annuity process, and that making sure that everybody is getting their fair share.
Yeah, I
mean, $4 was
$4
a lot of money.
doesn't buy you a coffee and donut at Tim Hortons. It's kind of
collecting my treaty
It definitely
payment.
needs to be updated.
Collecting my treaty payment when I was a child, getting $4 is pretty exciting, but when you're an adult, not so much.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, thank you very much for joining us this week. You'll be back, obviously, next week with more stories to share with our audience. We'll be right back with Dan Gray. Hold tight. And welcome back to the Chris Oldcorn Show. Thank you very much for joining us today. I'm here with Sioux Online and On TV journalist Dan Gray, and we're going to be talking crime because there's a lot of it and it's going up.
Yeah, you could say that. The biggest stat that came out of everything I've done in the last week is unfortunately overdoses, and
Which we've already reported on several too.
which we reported on a couple so far since I've been here, and it's an unfortunate stat because when you reach into the community, they tell you it's they think it's higher than it is, but APH has confirmed that there are 26 as of mid-year this year, 26 overdose deaths in the city, and we're looking at 4 that are suspected, and that doesn't count the few that we've had. It doesn't count on the ones that they've had to run to and save. So it's an ongoing issue, and when you talk, I had a chance to talk with both of our representatives, with Mr. Sheehan and Mr. Romano. They are getting back to me with stuff the province and the federal government are going to do to help us, but it does look like, through my contacts, that a rehab center or an addiction center is fairly possible here. On that note, SAH has been either requested or has offered to come to council to speak with council on Monday night about the ongoing issues when it comes to overdose.
Yeah, and actually in the crime story, we linked to a Vice story 2 years ago where the mayor literally didn't even know the crime stats in the town. Even though, where are we now on the crime list for Maclean's magazine for the most dangerous cities in Canada? 61st, was it?
61st, and then
we hopped up, what,
we're
100
130 something.
100, yeah, we hopped up like 130 spots in over a year.
And provided COVID hasn't messed up Maclean's too badly, their new report should be out here fairly shortly. This was November of last year, so we're looking again, I would think next 2 or 3 weeks, as long as COVID hasn't affected. I haven't talked to them, so but it'll be interesting to see if we've gone up or down on that point.
And it was 28 in 2018 was our, or 26 in 2018 was our
26,
the most overdoses we've had so far.
26 in 2018 is the record for Algoma. And when we talk about Algoma Public Health and they give us these numbers, they give it to us as all of Algoma, but let's be honest here, we're talking Sault Ste. Marie.
Yeah.
Maybe the occasional one in Wawa, maybe the occasional one outside of town, but we're talking, and 26 was that number. 26 was the high mark. 2017, when I was looking through the stats, was really bad for emergency room visits. 2019 had a spike in them too. I can only assume going forward here, 2020 is going to have a spike when we're looking at the deaths also. Police are kind of have their hands tied. When you reach out to Lincoln and them, they're building their investigations. But they can't just go in and raid something after somebody passes away or is killed. They have to do their case. They have to do due diligence.
Yeah. And so this means we could be on track for as many as maybe even 60 overdoses this year.
Yeah, the mayor quoted in a tweet that we could be 60 overdoses this year. And I'm flabbergasted how he doesn't seem to want to respond when we reach out to ask him these questions, yet he'll run to other people to answer them. That to me, I don't understand that. I appreciate he may have a point of view, but these are serious issues in this city. And as a reporter, I reach out trying to get comments on serious issues.
Well, he's never really even taken the opioid. He's more interested in building a 4th ice rink than building a treatment center.
Or buying a piece of land for
Or buying a
$400,000.
piece of land for, yeah. Unless he was buying it to put a treatment center on, like, why did you buy the strip club?
Just a short note on that $400,000. I got a letter back from legal department yesterday for my FOI. They've informed me it's going to cost more than $25 for all the pieces of paper and time they're going to be putting into the Hudson property request. But I have asked for everything electronic, handwritten, etc. for why this went down. People that I have spoken to in the city are very frustrated with that purchase.
Yes. Well, I don't understand it at all. It's not a strategic piece of land for the city. They claimed it was part of Jamestown. It's not.
Then they claimed it was part of the Gateway project. It doesn't work there either.
No, it doesn't. So we'll get to the bottom of it. Don't worry. Okay. We are the exclusive home of something. What is that for viewers?
On November 11th at 10:45, we are the exclusive home of the Remembrance Day ceremony for the Royal Canadian Legion here in town. We were approached about approximately a month ago about running this live, and it'll be on our Facebook, it'll be on our website, it'll be linked so that the people at Legion can do it, and it's because people cannot go to the cenotaph this year. They want to keep that as limited as possible because of Algoma Public Health and because of COVID and because of, frankly, some of the older veterans will be there, and they are the most at risk for this.
Oh, absolutely. And like even the poppy flag raising ceremony we had, they were very spaced out and everything.
And you'll be seeing over the next week here or so, I'm doing some remembrance stories, trying to bring facts to the different conflicts the Canadian Forces has done.
Yeah. And actually the first one's going up on World War I shortly.
Yeah, shortly.
Yeah. Now you have another interview that you're doing later today that's going to be on this weekend. You want to give us a little background on that?
I am interviewing a veteran of the Canadian Armed Forces, the Canadian Air Force, Tammy Guy. And I hope I said that correctly. She was the first female loadmaster on Hercules aircraft, so it should be fairly interesting. It's going to run at 9 and 3, just like the last one did last weekend.
So 9 a.m., 3 p.m., 9 p.m., 3 a.m.
3 a.m. Yeah, something like that.
So run 4 times on Saturday. You can basically watch it at 9 or 3 a.m. or p.m.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for joining us today and bring some light into that. And hopefully Surrey Hospital will actually be able to enlighten the mayor on what's actually going on.
I'll be watching.
Yeah, we will. And we'll be reporting on it. Don't worry about that.
Probably live via Twitter.
Yeah, we'll probably be live tweeting it as well. So thank you very much for joining us. Thank you very much for watching Chris Oldcorn Show this week. I'll see you tomorrow morning on First Local Mornings. Have a fantastic evening.